Types, old tiny photos, and how they can help you boost your fortunes. Or maybe not. No. I'm going to talk about something actually that I don't talk a lot about, and it does kind of fly in the face of some of the traditional like hard statistic measurement kind of things, but if you were to put me on the spot and say in our 8 years of business what one of the biggest success factors has been for us, this would probably be right at the top of the list. So I'm going to tell you a story. In 2010, I posted this presentation on SlideShare. If you're not familiar with SlideShare, it's like YouTube for PowerPoint presentations. This was based on a client engagement we did with the city of Rochester, which, small world, Leanne actually was a sponsor for the original speaking engagement in Rochester when she was at Metrocast.
I remember that.
All right.
Nice plug.
Yeah. Cut to 2 years later. I get a call from a program director at the World Affairs Council. He asked me to come and speak to a number of young professionals from Kyrgyzstan, a Central Asian Republic, about government use of social media in their country. And how did you find out about us and come to ask? Well, I was doing an internet search, Tim Morgan says, and I found you guys, specifically I found that presentation, and that is what drew me to you after then doing a little additional research on our company. So something that we put out 2 years ago brought this into our lives. This is not something that's easily measurable across the long term, but it is something that we are noticing in business and in life that is truly valuable to what has been so successful for us, and that is serendipity. Ta-da! The occurrence and development of events by chance in a happy or beneficial way. Sounds very foo-foo, right? However, there is actually a very strong and grounded base for the concept of serendipity in business. There are, in fact, a number of business books that have been written about competitive intelligence, and serendipity is part of that. How you actually look at what your competition is doing in a number of different ways. The online world, of course, gives you even greater windows into how to do that and how to do things like blind spot analysis for yourself. Serendipity also has a very storied and historic role in the realms of science and discovery. You can go back to the apocryphal apple falling on Newton's head, helping him discover what gravity was all about. Everything from antennas to aspartame to, oh gosh, the list goes on and on. All of these things are discovered with the help of parallel thinking and being open to how different ideas can be connected together. The internet and social media in particular really help enable this to happen, particularly in our creative business lives. So, what I'm going to just tell you about are 3 ways that you can increase the level of serendipity potential in your business and in your personal life. The first thing to do is to burst the bubble. Actually, you can stay there. You may not necessarily realize this, but all of us here live in our own individual filter bubbles. When you think about Facebook and about how they determine what shows up in your news feed when you log into Facebook.com, it's based on a thing called EdgeRank, and they're trying to anticipate what is going to be most relevant to you as the person who's surfing on Facebook. So things that are more interactive, images over text. People and businesses with whom you've interacted most and more recently, things that have been posted more recently. They're trying to do you a favor by serving you what they think is going to be relevant to you. But the side effect of that is that they're also channeling you off from a whole other realm of information that can actually spark new ideas and possibilities for you. Google does the same thing when they personalize the results, and now that we have Google+, and Google Plus is actually giving you now personalized search results from the people with whom you're in circles on Google. This helps narrow down the field of what you see when you are searching and when you're interacting online. So to fight that and to actually increase the possibility of serendipitous discovery in your business and in your life, do what you can to break that bubble. That means getting onto the 2nd and the 3rd and the 4th page of Google search results to see what's there. It means interacting more with a broader expanse of your network and continuing to expand that network little bits over time. It doesn't have to be, oh, I have to comment on 500 people's pages in one day just to keep expanding that bubble. It doesn't have to be like that. A little bit at a time. Spread it out, because this is how you're going to open the doors to more opportunity for your business. Second thing, keywords. So this does tie in a little bit more directly into what Ryan was talking about. It's not common that we actually do postings about social media usage for cities and towns and government agencies, but it happened that we did it in this particular instance, and we've done it in a couple others, and it drew an opportunity to us. When you look at your keyword strategy for what you're doing on your own website, and it's especially helpful if you have a blog, so that way you can be publishing new content, but it also applies to social. There are social signals that we'll talk about in a moment where keywords get involved in the mix too. As you are posting new content to your site, think about the whole realm of keywords and what you could be continuing to expand your online content kingdom about. There's a book by Chris Anderson called The Long Tail, which is a fantastic book. He's the editor of Wired magazine. And what it talks about is that it's not just the things that are most popular right now, but also the longer tail of things that don't get searched as often. They're usually longer strings of keywords. They're usually more specific in what they're asking. But think about the last time you searched on Google for something. You probably didn't just put in 1 or 2 words. You probably put in 5, 6, or 7 into the search box when you were looking for something. So that long tail is a realm of additional possibility for you in attracting new opportunities into your own business. iTunes is a great example of this because I think it's something like half of their sales, and Amazon too, half of their sales actually come from the long tail, not from the things that are on the New York Times bestseller list or things that are on the Billboard 100. It's actually from that whole back catalog of stuff, and now it's actually efficient for them to have that long tail as opposed to, say, the traditional brick-and-mortar bookstore or music store. Third thing is to act with passion on your own website and in the social media space. If you got into your business, whatever field you're in, at some point in your life you had to be passionate about that particular aspect of it, or you were passionate about helping people, even if if it's that simple and that straightforward. Our passion is to help people rediscover and implement what's possible for their own passions and business. So if you key into that passion and share it and just live in that authenticity, this actually now has the ability to draw more opportunity to you and to affect the hard Google results that deliver you to searchers. What you have here are screenshots of things about how Google has changed over time. They're restructuring their algorithm to try and get a handle on passion and authenticity as markers for their rankings, which sounds absolutely crazy, and yet we're at the point computationally where the algorithms are sophisticated enough that this kind of thing can happen. You've got things like them trying to look at how negative emotions and sentiment can actually hamper your ratings, about how it could be a social signal can do better for you than actually link building off-site. There are studies that say that no-follow links, which is just the internal code that, say, Facebook and Twitter have, if you post a link on there, it tells search engines theoretically don't follow it, but there is some page value ranking being passed to Google after all, and they just filed a patent for author credibility. So even as they are thinking about the next level in Genesis of what Google's algorithm is going to look like, prominence, relevance, credibility of that particular author, and that is often determined off-site by sentiment and linking and other ranking reputation factors. This now becomes ever more relevant to what you do. So actually being passionate and sharing authentically what you love about what you do ends up having a search engine optimization value. So that pretty much wraps up what I wanted to say to you. And now I guess I can turn it over to Warren.